while to go. And the last thing I'll ask is, there are a lot of fans here for 7 a.m. Pro-Am. What were the nerves like hitting your opening tee shot here compared to what you normally do on the basketball court?
I don't get nervous for basketball, but I got a little nervous for this because I don't want to hit anybody, but honestly, I'm just trying to have fun.
Everyone thinks the biggest story in women's basketball is the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But the truth is far more complex. The real war isn't being fought on the court with crossovers and trash talk. It's a battle for legacy, and Caitlin Clark just revealed a secret weapon her rivals never saw coming. What she did on a pristine golf course in July 2023 didn't just shock the sports world, it sent a terrifying message to anyone trying to stand in her way. It proved that while they were busy playing checkers on the hardwood, Clark was playing chess across the entire athletic landscape, and by the end of this, you'll understand why a simple game of golf may have permanently shifted the balance of power.
The golf media is pumped about Caitlin Clark, as they should be. So many more new fans are going to be tuning in to golf who never would have otherwise.
Me and one of my teammates versus two of them, and we'd go play Twilight every day after practice, and it would just be so fun. And we'd go talk about it, talk crap the next day at practice. That's what made it so fun.
The stage was set at the John Deere Classic Pro-Am, an event typically reserved for golf fanatics and local enthusiasts. But on this day, the atmosphere was electric, completely transformed. By 7 a.m., hours before the main event, the stands were already packed, a sea of faces not there for the PGA pros but for a basketball player. They were there for Caitlin Clark. The anticipation was palpable, a buzzing energy that felt less like a friendly exhibition and more like a championship final. This wasn't just a crowd, it was a testament to the Caitlin Clark effect, a phenomenon where her mere presence turns any event into a must-see spectacle. Organizers were left stunned, admitting they had never seen such a turnout for a Wednesday Pro-Am. They were witnessing, in real time, how Clark's gravity extends far beyond the three-point line, pulling in an entirely new universe of fans and fundamentally altering the event itself. But the real question remained, could the phenom from the court actually deliver on the fairway?
Participating in this LPGA Pro-Am is just going to bring so many more eyes because everything she does brings eyes, especially to a basketball court, but even when she makes an appearance courtside.
As Caitlin Clark stepped up to the first tee, the pressure was immense. Surrounded by thousands of fans and playing alongside PGA Tour veteran Zach Johnson, any sign of weakness would have been amplified, dissected on social media, and used as ammunition by her detractors. The silence was deafening as she began her swing. Then, a sharp crack echoed across the fairway. The ball launched into the air, a perfect, powerful drive straight down the middle of the course, drawing an immediate roar of applause from the crowd. It wasn't the swing of an amateur, it was the fluid, confident motion of a natural-born athlete. In that single moment, she silenced any doubt. It was the golfing equivalent of a logo three-pointer on her first possession, a bold, undeniable statement that she belonged. This wasn't a gimmick or a publicity stunt. This was Caitlin Clark, and she had come to compete, rewriting the rules of what a basketball superstar was supposed to be capable of.
It's going to be huge. That's why they expanded the coverage around it, and that's why you see, some of the talking heads in the golf space getting really excited because they know what's about to come down this week once Caitlin Clark tees off.
About being a leader in their space, whether it was sport, whether it's business, whatever it is. I think that was what's so cool about it, and obviously getting to sit next to Annika on stage is pretty special for myself.
Playing alongside established legends like Zach Johnson and Annika Sorenstam, Clark could have easily been intimidated, but instead, she seemed to draw strength from their presence. These weren't just partners, they were validators. Sorenstam, a giant in the world of women's golf, was visibly impressed, watching Clark's form with a knowing eye. But it was Zach Johnson, a two-time major champion, who provided the most telling commentary. He remarked on her raw power and natural athleticism, noting that with a bit of polish, she could be genuinely formidable. His praise wasn't patronizing. It was a genuine assessment from one elite athlete to another. For her fans, this was confirmation of what they already believed. Clark's talent is universal. For her rivals, however, this footage must have been deeply unsettling. Seeing their on-court competitor earn the respect of legends in a completely different sport added a terrifying new dimension to her already formidable persona.
I'm trying to think of who else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would create this kind of attention. Current player. And I mean, the true buzz that Caitlin Clark has shown across the entire sports world in such a short period of time.
But then came the moment that truly shattered all expectations. On the 345-yard par 4 16th hole, Clark did something that even seasoned amateurs only dream of. She drove the green. Let that sink in. With a single explosive swing, she launched the ball over 300 yards, landing it just feet from the hole, setting up an eagle putt. The crowd erupted, and even the professional commentators were left searching for word. This wasn't just a good shot, it was an act of dominance, a display of raw power that defied logic for someone who claims to only play golf a few times a year. This moment became the viral highlight of the day, a clip replayed endlessly on Sports Network. It was a pattern break in her own narrative, proving her athleticism wasn't just skilled, it was elite on a fundamental level. It was the kind of feat that makes rivals question everything, forcing them to wonder how you compete with someone whose physical gifts are so boundless they defy the conventions of a single sport.
I know that you work really hard in the off-season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on this off-season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room, so.
The shock waves from that single drive rippled far beyond the golf course, perfectly illustrating the Caitlin Clark effect at its most potent. This phenomenon isn't just about her talent, it's about her unique ability to command attention and shift cultural conversations. A quiet pro-am in Illinois suddenly became the top story on ESPN. Golf writers were penning articles about a basketball player, while basketball analysts were forced to discuss swing mechanics. Her presence created a content vortex, pulling in media from every corner of the sports world and generating a level of buzz that her WNBA rivals could only dream of achieving during their own off-season. This is the core of what makes her so threatening to her detractors. She doesn't just win games, she wins the entire news cycle. While her competitors were fighting for inches of column space, Clark was conquering entire media landscapes with a borrowed set of clubs.
That idiot Angel Reese is trying so hard to latch on to Caitlin Clark by being the heel and then crying about it. You all did this. You all called her a white bitch constantly.
This is precisely where the performance becomes a strategic nightmare for competitors like Angel Reese. Their rivalry, born in the crucible of the NCAA championship, is built on a narrative of on-court confrontation and psychological warfare. Reese's infamous "you can't see me" gesture was a direct challenge to Clark's dominance, an attempt to seize the narrative and position herself as the anti-hero to Clark's meteoric rise. But how do you counter an opponent who changes the game entirely? While Reese was building her brand around challenging Clark on the basketball court, Clark was casually demonstrating a level of athletic prowess that operates on a completely different plane. The golf performance was an indirect yet devastating counterpunch. It subtly communicated that while Reese was focused on their one-on-one battle, Clark was busy building an empire that transcended their rivalry, making the on-court drama seem almost provincial by comparison.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.
The rivalry with Angel Reese is intensely personal and public, fueled by their contrasting styles and the heated moments of the 2023 NCAA Finals. That game wasn't just a loss for Clark, it was the moment Reese cemented her national identity by directly confronting Clark's stardom. Reese's subsequent "I don't fit the narrative" comments were a clear attempt to frame the rivalry as a battle of personalities and public perception, but Clark's golf outing completely bypassed this narrative. It was an unforeseen move that Reese had no answer for. There was no trash talk that could diminish a 300-yard drive. There was no on-court gesture that could compete with the praise of golf legend. Clark's performance effectively flanked Reese's entire strategy, proving she could expand her influence and capture public admiration in an arena where their rivalry was completely irrelevant, leaving Reese's narrative feeling contained and limited to the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark has been the best thing, the most dominant thing. Remember, there's been good players come out of college, but nobody really cared. They'd seen it. Nobody really cared.
And it's not just Angel Reese who was put on notice. In the professional ranks, A'ja Wilson represents the established elite. As the leader of the Las Vegas Aces super team, Wilson is the gatekeeper of WNBA supremacy, a two-time MVP whose dominance is unquestioned. The threat Clark poses to Wilson is less about direct confrontation and more about a seismic shift in the league's power dynamics. Wilson and the Aces represent traditional basketball excellence, a dynasty built on teamwork and proven talent. Clark, however, represents a cultural tsunami. Her ability to generate mainstream headlines for a charity golf event is a clear sign of a different kind of power, a marketability and crossover appeal that can reshape the entire league's landscape. For Wilson, the challenge isn't just defending her title on the court, it's competing with a force of nature who can command the spotlight without even dribbling a basketball.
If she would not have joined the WNBA, these numbers would not be the way that they are with or without her, right? So it's not about Caitlin Clark not being in the finals or being in the finals. It's the fact that Caitlin Clark is in the league that is allowing other teams to still have these pretty decent ratings in the final.
What this all boils down to is a battle that transcends sport. It's about building a legacy. While her rivals focus on championships, a critical and respected goal, Caitlin Clark is assembling a multi-platform empire of influence. Her success in golf, however brief, wasn't just a fun side quest. It was a strategic expansion of her brand. It positioned her not merely as the best women's basketball player, but as a generational athlete, placing her in the same rare air as multi-sport icons like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. This is a level of branding that is almost impossible to compete with. For her detractors, this is the most troubling development of all. It's one thing to try and outplay her on the court. It's another thing entirely to try and keep pace with a legend that is growing and evolving in real time, right before their eyes, conquering new worlds they never even considered part of the game.
I think Caitlin Clark is doing the right thing, rising above all of the crap that she's had to endure. Caitlin Clark was worried about playing the game, and that is why she got Rookie of the Year. She was not worried about the BS.
You have to wonder what was going through the minds of Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson as they saw the highlights flood their social media feeds. They are elite athletes, dedicating their lives to perfecting their craft on the basketball court, grinding through grueling off-season workouts. Then they see their biggest competitor making national news for excelling in a completely different sport, seemingly without effort. It's a psychological blow that can't be understated. It plants a seed of doubt, making them question the very nature of the competition. Are they just competing with Caitlin Clark, the basketball player? Or are they up against something more? It shifts the battle from the physical to the mental, forcing them to contend with the unsettling reality that Clark's ceiling might be far higher than anyone, including them, ever imagined.
As you get ready to go back in 2025, you got a new coach, Stephanie White. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm excited. I think, obviously our goal of reaching the playoffs last year we accomplished, but now, we want to be a championship contender. I think we're putting in the pieces to be able to do that. Hopefully add some free agents, and you can just feel the excitement in the whole organization and in the city, our fans. So honestly, I can't wait to get back out there. I wish we had a game tomorrow, honestly.
The media's reaction poured salt on that wound. The coverage was relentless and overwhelmingly positive. Outlets like Golf Digest and the PGA Tour's official channels celebrated her performance, treating her not as a novelty act, but as a legitimate athletic talent. ESPN's First Take dedicated entire segments to debating her potential as a multi-sport star. This widespread validation from sources outside the basketball bubble amplified her status exponentially. For her rivals, this must have been incredibly frustrating. Any criticism or attempt to downplay her basketball achievements would now seem petty in the face of such broad-based acclaim. Clark had effectively diversified her portfolio of public approval, making her Teflon to the kind of targeted criticism that often surrounds sports rivalries. She wasn't just dominating the game, she was dominating the entire conversation.
I think a lot of things that me and Annika said is we share a lot of the same values, and I think that's really cool, being driven, but so do they at the same time. Like, obviously we're, professional athletes or played sport or whatever it was, but at the same time in their lives, it all relates. And I think people at times forget that. We're real humans too, and we're driven by the same thing.
From the fans' perspective, The golf outing was the ultimate confirmation of Clark's exceptionalism. It solidified her image as a phenom who can simply do things others can't. The whispers that had followed her throughout her college career, that she was a once-in-a-generation talent, suddenly felt like an understatement. Supporters shared clips of her drives and putts with a sense of pride, as if they were personally invested in her success across all fields. This event armed her fan base with irrefutable proof of her greatness, creating an army of defenders ready to shut down any detractor. For those who rooted against her, it was an unavoidable moment of reckoning. The arguments used to diminish her, that she was overhyped or a one-dimensional player, crumbled in the face of her effortless versatility.
It was such a bittersweet end to a phenomenal rookie season that Caitlin Clark had, and it honestly got me to just reflecting on this season. And it sucks that so much of it was riddled with so much drama and so much negativity and so many mishaps that the WNBA had throughout the entire season.
Ultimately, this single day on the golf course did more for Caitlin Clark's legacy than another 40-point game ever could. It fundamentally changed the definition of who she is as an athlete. Before, she was on track to be an all-time great basketball player. After, she was on a path to becoming a legendary American athlete, period. It created a powerful narrative of limitless potential, a story that is intoxicating to fans and media alike. This is the foundation upon which true sports immortality is built. While championships can be counted and records can be broken, the perception of boundless talent is a far more enduring and powerful legacy. And by conquering a second sport, even for just one day, she laid a cornerstone for that legacy that her rivals may never be able to match. So when we look back at the rivalries that will define this era of basketball, with Angel Reese and Asia Wilson at the forefront, the John Deere Classic Pro-Am will loom large. It's the day Caitlin Clark revealed she wasn't just playing their game, she was playing a bigger one. The battle on the court will continue to be fierce and captivating, but Clark's performance on the fairway proved that her true opponent was never another player. It was the very concept of limitation. She's not just aiming to be the best in her league, she's challenging the boundaries of what a modern athlete can be. And that leaves us with one thought-provoking question. If she can conquer the fairway this easily, what other worlds are left for her to win? Let me know what you think in the comments below.